What if humanity had never invented weapons? Imagine a world where the need for defense and conflict resolution had led to entirely different solutions, where technological advancements focused on cooperation rather than destruction. This documentary will explore a world where the idea of weapons, tools designed for violence, never took root in human history. To understand the impact of such a scenario, let's first take a brief journey through the history of weaponry. The earliest tools used by humans were not weapons at all, but practical instruments, stones, bones, and sticks used for survival, hunting, and gathering. These simple tools marked the dawn of humanity's interaction with the natural world. Over time, however, as societies began to form and grow, the need for protection and control led to the creation of early weapons. By the time of the Neolithic Revolution, around 10,000 years ago, humans had begun crafting more specialized tools, such as spears, arrows, and slings. These early weapons were made primarily from materials like stone, bone, and wood, reflecting the limited technological capabilities of the time. As civilizations developed, so did their weapons. The Bronze Age, around 3,000 years ago, brought about the invention of metalworking, and with it, bronze weapons like swords, axes, and shields. The Iron Age soon followed, making weapons more durable and effective. The advancements in metallurgy led to the rise of larger, more organized military forces and the creation of even more specialized tools for war, from chariots to the first firearms. Fast forward to the modern era, and the technology of weapons has transformed dramatically. From the crossbow to the cannon, from the machine gun to nuclear bombs, weaponry has evolved into one of the most influential aspects of global power dynamics. But what if this evolution never took place? What kind of world would we live in today? That is the question we are about to explore. How did people address issues of security without weapons? Without weapons, early human societies relied on natural barriers, clever tactics, and community cooperation for defense. Settling in areas with high ground, caves, or surrounded by rivers offered natural protection. As communities grew, they built fortified settlements using materials like wood, stone, and earth. Social defense was key. People formed alliances and supported each other in times of need. Instead of relying on weapons, tactics like ambushes, decoys, and communication through signals helped deter threats. Early law enforcement systems also played a role, focusing on cooperation and strategy over violence. How could the absence of weapons have changed the development of states and empires? Without weapons, the rise of states and empires would have been driven by diplomacy, trade, and cooperation rather than military conquest. Political power would have been built on alliances, cultural influence, and economic strength rather than through force. Wars and political conflicts would have been resolved through negotiation and peaceful means, leading to different forms of international relations. Empires would have expanded not through military domination, but through cultural exchange, economic integration, and strategic partnerships. How would the absence of military needs affect technological progress? Without the need for weapons or military technology, resources would have been directed toward peaceful innovation. Technological progress would have focused on advancing agriculture, healthcare, infrastructure, and communication rather than weapons development. The economy would have evolved to prioritize industries that fostered human well-being, such as education, renewable energy, and environmental sustainability. The absence of military expenditure could have allowed for more investment in scientific research and industrial growth that benefited society as a whole. How would humanity change in the 21st century if weapons didn't exist? Without weapons, the world would likely be far less focused on military defense and more on diplomatic solutions. Conflicts would be resolved through dialogue, economic cooperation, and international peace-building efforts. New systems of conflict resolution, such as global mediation, non-violent protests, and peacekeeping organizations, would play a larger role. The absence of weapons could foster a future where nations focus on collaborative progress, scientific advancements, and sustainable development instead of military competition. In conclusion, what would change in the world and the lives of people without weapons? A world without weapons would likely see a dramatic shift in human priorities. The focus on defense and war would be replaced by a greater emphasis on diplomacy, education, and environmental sustainability. The absence of violent conflict would not only change the dynamics of international relations, but could also encourage a more peaceful, cooperative society. In remembering the importance of peaceful development, we open up possibilities for future generations to live in a world driven by understanding, collaboration, and mutual respect.